DJ holding heavy.
It's 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You know what it means? It's time for the Suede Covington Show. Starring Suede Covington, DJ, not the DJ, and Mr. No Cat.
Best thing on the planet, baby.
What's up? What's up? What's up? It's your man Suede Covington. And it's time for the Suede Covington Show. I am the host, your host, Suede Covington. Yes, it is Wednesday. Another hump day. We're here to help you get through the rest of the week. You made 2 days. Today makes the third, 2 more to go, and the weekend's on. So how was everybody out there? Everybody enjoyed their weekend, I hope. Went to go see Batman. That was a decent movie. You know, I kind of liked it. You know, it was 3 hours. Did it need to be 3 hours? Nah. Towards the end, it got kind of, okay, I could tell it was 3 hours. Because some movies you go see, they're 3 hours and you like, man, I didn't even realize it was 3 hours. You so into it. But we've seen so many Batman movies that at this point you really got to bring it, because this last series, The Dark Knight and everything with Christian Bale, you know, flipped the whole game for Batman from when Michael Keaton did it and Val Kilmer and George Clooney and all those guys played it. The Dark Knight changed the whole game. It elevated it, you know, to a whole different level. So you really got to be doing something if you're going to try to beat that standard that they set with the Dark Knight. But the biggest thing right now is, right, this is, this Women History Month. Give it up for Women History Month. Yay! So the biggest thing that they got going on with that is, what's her name? Ketanji Brown Jackson. You know what I'm saying? She killing it, man. They hitting her with those crazy questions, man. You know, because they say she was a public defender. And if I heard that right, they said that this would be the first time. Not only will it be the first time for a black woman to be on the Supreme Court, but also the first time a defender will be on the Supreme Court. So I guess none of them, you know, did public defending. I mean, the question is, I think, I could be wrong, but some of them where you have to do so many pro bono cases for the court, you know, because you're in that jurisdiction or in that court system or something, and then you got to do so many. So I would figure that all of them are like that. But so maybe not, because she was a public defender. I guess that's a little different, because I guess she was, you know, the last person you can get to if you don't have any money to try to help fight the case. So, you know, it was an interesting question they asked her. So they asked her, by her being, a public defender, defending criminals and non-criminals. So they asked her a question. I was listening to this one too. They said, so how do you feel about defending criminals? And I was like, wow, right? And her response was that everybody is due justice under the Constitution, a fair trial under the Constitution. So when she said that, I was like, wow. And then that, you know, you have to be thinking, there's a lot of people with money who get good lawyers, right? And beat cases. They follow all the rules, all of the guidelines under the Constitution. So at that point, I mean, is it like morals or something that they're trying to find out? Like, what are your morals? Or Because to me, it's like she's like, whatever the Constitution say. If this is what the Constitution guidelines are, then this is what I'm saying. I'm not saying, I'm not giving my opinion. I'm just giving everybody their, due process. So I'm like, that's fair. You know what I'm saying? I think they might have asked her about abortion, and she just said it's there already. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, why we have to discuss this? It's already in place. This is not something that we will be discussed. It's not something up for my opinion. Is already laws in place. So why are we talking about that? I mean, she didn't say that, but that's what I picked up on it. I don't know about you, but that's what I picked up on it. So I'm like, man, this is this is crazy. So they have been questioning her for a while before they approved the nomination. And the good thing about that is once she gets the job, it's a done job. She can stay in this job for life. It's not an elected job. Once you appointed to it, that's it. Can't nobody come and take you out of that spot because they say, well, you know what, I don't want you there anymore. I'm going to put somebody else. That's not how that goes. Once you get in that spot, that Supreme Court seat, that's it. You in that seat for life. I'm like, man, that's a pretty good thing right there, though. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure they're going to give her a bunch of tough questions and ask her before they make it. So I'm hoping that she does get that seat, man. Woohoo! If she gets that seat, boy, oh boy. That's, man, woohoo. They trying to break her all the way down, too. So, DJ not the DJs won't be in today. I guess he following suit with Mr. No Cap. They probably out somewhere having martinis, laughing at me while I try to make this. I do the show today, man. You know what I'm saying? What was it? The iHeart Music Awards was on last night, man. They was lit. They was lit. LL Cool J performed. There was a few other people that performed. I think it was a pretty good show. It was a decent show. You know what I'm saying? It was a real decent show. Force. Tommy, man. His show was getting off the ground, right? This the fifth or sixth episode? It's really getting good, man. You see how they really tried to develop Tommy as his own character, and he's coming into his own. You know what I'm saying? It's not that bad, though. You know what I mean? I thought it might have been. Sometime you do some spinoffs, and he had Raising Kane. That was good. Then you got Power Book 2. You know what I'm saying? You got Tariq, and then you got Tommy Show. You was kind of like, I don't know if he can get another one. And hey, they pulled it off. They pulled it off. He's still in the dope game. He's still out here, doing his thing, being Tommy, being all the way hood, all the way street. And and they doing a decent job of pulling it off. I'm captivated for 53 minutes that they have me for the show. You know what I'm saying? It's a pretty good show, though. I like it. At first it was kind of moving real slow. The Tommy, it was moving slow, and then he met his brother, and it was like, really? So now you got a brother, you got a half brother, you know what I'm saying? And then he messes with the chick, she black. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, okay, Tommy, this is what we associating the dope game with. That's kind of how they trying to, and that was the only thing I was like, okay, they trying to portray it that way so much, with Tommy, but by him being around all the brothers in the beginning of the whole series on Ghost, it was only natural for him to be in his element, to be back hooking up with the brothers to make something happen, So overall, I think it's got a decent storyline, and I'm gonna continue to watch it all the way to the end of the season. So 50 Cent put a lot of work into it. He got the writers. He connected with the right people, and he got some hits on his hand. He making some stars though. Big ups to 50 on that one. 50 Cent, Curtis Jackson, aka, you know what I'm saying? He doing an excellent job. You know what I'm saying? So I guess you got to keep it up because I'm all in. I watched all of them from you know what I'm saying, from Power to Power 2 to Raising Cane to Tommy's series Power Force BMF. I'm like, yeah, he's really tapping into that market and really capitalizing on it. So, you know, hey, better him than somebody else trying to get in on it. You know what I mean? And in saying that, I had a question. So you hear a lot of times drug dealers are selling drugs, or you know, they think that, you know what, it's better me getting that money from the community that's doing drugs, right, than somebody else. And I've wondered about that. Like, is that what type of thinking? So, you know, some people say, well, you know, they have family members who end up on drugs and they, you know, stay on the drugs, and it's like, well, I'd rather them buy from me than buy from somebody else. I mean, and it kind of makes sense because at some level, when addicts, or, you know, saying people who are addicted to drugs or whatever the case is, they're gonna get it anyway, right? So in their thought process is, I might as well benefit from it, and they can benefit from me, you know, by the drug use if I'm the one selling the drugs, so they can come to me. I don't, you know, at one point I didn't really agree with that philosophy. I thought it was kind of crazy. Like, man, why would you want to do that to your own people? But at the same time, you got to think, if you tell them no, that's not going to stop them from, you know, getting whatever drug of choice it is. So if you have, you know what I'm saying, if you have a family member or a close friend or whatever, they doing drugs, and it's like, well, they come to you like, hey man, I know you sell the drugs. Let me buy from you. And you say, well, nah, man, that ain't right. You don't want to buy from me, man. I don't want to sell to you, man. You got a problem. Okay, so they're not gonna say, well, you know what? He didn't sell to me. I should stop, man. I should never do it ever again, man. You know what I'm saying? Because my best friend, my cousin, my uncle, whoever won't sell to me. And that's not what happens. What happens is they say, oh, so you're not going to, oh, you sure? And then they go somewhere else. So I guess in the hustle mentality, it's like, well, this is guaranteed money, or this is money, so why let it slip out my hands? And at the same time, you know, your people get what they need. But at the same time, you visually watching them continue to deteriorate. So that has to have some type of effect on you. So, I mean, I don't know. You know what I mean? That's kind of like what they say, like a two-edged sword or something, man. You know what I mean? It's like, do you sell them the drugs? Like, hey, man, or do you not? Do you just say no and let them go by the wayside and sometimes wonder where they at, you know? Because now at this point, it's like, okay, so you won't do it, but they have to go maybe 30 miles, for example, to go get the drug that they need, you know, and in the process, a lot of things can happen. Shoot, in a mile, a lot of things can happen to them. So it's like, okay, well, yeah, okay, well, you do it, you don't do it. It's like some parents say when the kids get to a certain age, or they find out the kids are drinking, some of them don't tell them to stop. They just say, do it here. And it's just, why do you want to do it here? And they say, well, if they do it here in my house, then I got control over it, and I know where they at. I know they're not out here at somebody else's house trying to get back home from drinking, you know what I'm saying, and partying, so they might as well just drink here. Do Suede agree with that? Suede Covington says, no. If I find out, leave it alone. Look, no underage drinking with Suede, baby. You know what I'm saying? Look, the law says 21. You can hold off until you're 21, because after 21, you got the rest of your life. You want to drink and party, you go ahead, but not until you 21. No, so no, you can't come and drink at the crib. You and your friends drink at the house in the basement. No, you can't come and smoke marijuana at the house in the basement. First of all, you can't smoke marijuana and you can't drink. Why? Suede says, look, all of these things are distractions from you getting yourself together to move out of my house. You got to move out of my house. So drinking and smoking marijuana in my crib or period doesn't fly. You can't do it because it's a distraction. I need you to be fully focused on these books, fully focused on this education, fully focused on your interactions with teachers, other students, other staff. Because how you deal with these situations reflect on how you deal with these situations later on in life. So I need your goals to be that. Because a lot of people say, well, it's just school. No, it's not school. You have a lot of other interactions besides just the numbers in the books. You got friendships. You go through a lot of different friendships, right? So your school, you may start off at one school. You may go to another school. You may go to another school. And each time you have to build these friendships. And it makes you work a little harder mentally to try to build these friendships. Establish yourself in a classroom, establish yourself on the cheerleading team, on the basketball team, because just because you was at one school and they knew you was good and you was like, oh, I was the best, now you got to go to another school and prove yourself all over again, which makes you work a little bit harder. So a lot of people just say, well, the school is books. It's a lot more involved. Now, the school is not supposed to raise your children. By no means. You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to raise your child. But there are also things that are in place. So school, you got to understand, school is just not books and numbers. You're watching the Suede Covington Show. The best thing on the planet, baby. Live, streaming on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and other top social media platforms. Like, follow, share, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching WJZZ Cool TV, the coolest station in the world, man. That's right, WJZZ Cool TV. You can check us out on Facebook, you know what I'm saying, Twitter, YouTube. Hey, you can go on any one of those and hit like. You like anything, to comment on any of those. You know what I'm saying? I respond to all and any of them. I like the comments. I check the comments every show. So what I was talking about was the interaction with school, right? So some people think, and some kids think, and they get into the point where they think that school is just numbers and books and learning. I mean, it's a whole lot more. The whole atmosphere at school, because you got bullies, how they deal with bullies. Some of them deal with different ways. You got to guide them on that. And the lessons that you teach them at home actually helps them when they're in school. You know what I'm saying? So it's like if you teach them to be a man of their word or a woman of their word, meaning that whenever they do something, whenever they say they're going to do something, they follow through and do it. So one of my things is I teach my kids that not to promise anything, right? Only promise what you know for a fact you can do. So that means if I make this promise, I'm not going to put anything above what I told you I'm going to do. So that means you could count on me to get this done. With that being said, we don't make a lot of promises. So that we're not just promising anything. When we say we promise, that means, hey, I'm fully committed to something and I'm 100% going to be there, do it. Everything else gets put on hold. Now, when you use that, it's like, okay, hey, that's it, nothing else. You know what I'm saying? So you don't throw it out there a lot, because a lot of times you can't do something, and you don't want to just tell somebody something just to be telling them that, because you get a lot of people like, yeah, I can do that, I'll be there. Don't show up, like, oh, well, I couldn't make it through, and you like, well, I was counting on you. Well, you said you promised. Oh, I know, but nah, see. So we don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Suede don't do that. If I promise you something, you don't have to, you can sleep at night about it, because you know that whatever I say is going to come, to fruit, it's going to get done. It's going to happen because I made that promise. So that's the same thing. So when they go to school, it's the same thing. When they say, well, I'm going to do my work and I'm going to accomplish these goals, and they promise themselves, or they promise you, say, Mom, Dad, auntie, grandma, I promise I'm gonna get A's next time. And that means what? That means they're fully committed to it. Nothing's gonna stop them from breaking that promise, meaning that they don't do that a lot. So those interactions are good. It's just like when they had to do the virtual schooling, right? Hey, it's like, man, it was some of the kids was going crazy because they need that interaction, right? And that's why even with the apps, even with the Instagram and Facebook and Snapchat and TikTok and Twitter and everything, is taken away from that human interaction where you have to deal with people. You have to learn how to read their expressions and look at their actions, because on the and then you see them for real, right? On the Instagram and all the other apps, social media apps, people can be whoever they want to be, whoever. If this guy was a weirdo, he can become the coolest guy ever on Instagram. He can become the coolest guy ever on Twitter or YouTube, Facebook, but in real life, the dude is weird. But the social media apps give them an opportunity to create an avatar so they can be whoever they want to be. And all you can see on the Instagram is what the people want you to see. But when you were in school, you saw who people really are and was able to understand and deal with them. So it's like, this guy, he want to act tough sometime, but then the right guy come along or the right situation to come along and he'd break down. It's like, oh man, I can't go through it. And then you find out like, oh, okay, well, he had that issue, so he had to deal with them. On Instagram, you never can put yourself, you don't never have to put yourself in that situation. We got time to the point where you can turn the comments off. You know what I'm saying? You could say something crazy or whatever, and in certain apps you can turn the comments off and nobody can reply to you, and you just did whatever you wanted to do. So you got to understand that, right? So that's how the interaction in school is important, and it goes all the way up, all the way. And then college is just choice. They push college. Now here you go. They push college so hard. Right? In the 80s and the 90s, they pushed college so hard that now the skilled trades are hurting for people. Right? Because at one point, everybody was going to the skilled trades. They were becoming plumbers and pipe fitters and sprinkler fitters and iron workers. And, so the colleges went down. So now they boosted and started promoting colleges tough. College. You need a college degree. You need a college degree. The skilled trades are hurting. They hurting. They doing recruitment. They doing all type of stuff to get people into the skilled trades. So look, people, there's an option. You don't necessarily have to go to college. If you feel like college isn't for you, that's cool. Now, understand, I'm not knocking college. I'm not telling you not to go to college. But at 18, when you graduate from high school, you have to make a decision. What are you going to do with your life? And school isn't for everybody. And so you have the option to still make it a good living by being a skilled tradesman. So you got a choice. You could become a skilled tradesman. And the skilled tradesmen are, I mentioned plumbers and pipe fitters and iron workers and electricians. And so they have what they have is a union, and you become part of the union, right? And they train you. You go through an apprenticeship. In each one of those skilled trades you go through, they have an apprenticeship. And that apprenticeship is training. So you go to work, and then so many times a month or however they have it set up, you go to class and you learn about what you're doing and what you're seeing. Then once you go through 5 years, I think 4 years, maybe 4 to 5 years is the max with the apprenticeship, then you become a journeyman, which means you've completed all your classes. You know the necessary information you need to know, that now you can work alone or work with somebody under you. What he's telling you, he will read the plans, you will discuss it, he will tell you we need this type of equipment, We need this type of pipe. We got to put it at this angle. We got to put it at this pitch. And then they would teach you. And so the benefit of it is that while you're working as an apprentice under the journeyman, you're going to class. So it's not like school is where you're learning about Johnny has 4 apples and then he goes to the store and he sells 2 apples. And, this is like where Johnny is actually at the store, right? And he's selling these apples. And as he's selling these apples, they pull him away for a minute and show him how to sell. Like he's selling single apples, and then they'll show him how to sell bushels of apples, and then they'll show him how to sell truckloads of apples and warehouse the apples. And it's the same thing. So now you're working with the tools. You're working with the tools that you need, the pipe cutters and the wrenches and the sockets, and you're learning all this while you're going along. So it's more or less for hands-on people. Because you have people who are hands-on people who need to actually work with their hands in order to learn. So now you have people who can read books and understand and comprehend the information in the book and then apply it from the knowledge of what they remember in the book. Then you have other people that can still read the book, but it's a little harder for them to actually take that information and put it into the physical form. So that's where the skilled trade come in at. There's one possibility for that, because now you're learning hands-on, and at the same time, you're learning what you're doing with your hands. So you may be working with a journeyman and he's welding, right? Now you got to take a welding class. So now you go to the welding class. Of course, the journeyman is going to tell you, I'm using TIG, I'm using, whatever type of welding process. And then you're like, oh, okay. And then you're watching them as they do it, And then you go to class and then you learn about welding. So that's the benefit of it. So, hey, look, they need people for skilled trades. They need them for, there's a lot of projects here in the city. You got the Gordie Howe Bridge. You got Ford, got a bunch of stuff going on downtown. It's a lot of rebuilding and construction. So, and they have a lot of programs. So check it out. Look into it. It's very beneficial for you. They have healthcare packages. They have vacation. They have 401k. So, it's a lot of benefits to working in the skilled trade. So, but if not, you don't like that, you don't like working with your hands that tough, the other option is college, right? You go to college, get you a bachelor's degree, get you an associate's degree, or a bachelor's degree, a master's degree, a doctorate, whatever. Accomplish that goal. I'm pushing it 100%. I'm cool with that. But then that all reverts back to what I was saying. So the school is not just for educational. It's just not for book learning. As I'm saying, I can't think of another word at this moment. But yes, you could still learn a lot in school. Like I said, it helps you to deal with different type of people, different type of personalities. It's not just limited to book knowledge. It's not just every day, you read the book, you do with the book, you learn how to use the vowels and the nouns and the superlative form, and you know what I'm saying? It's not just limited to that. It's a whole environment, a whole environment. So you just got to remember that, And that's why Suede says no. So look, Suede Covington, right? He says no tattoos, no drinking, no smoking until you graduate from high school, right? Once you got to that point, then you want to get 1,000 tattoos. Hey, that's what's up. You want to start drinking and smoking. Moderately, that's cool, but you want to get out of pocket with it. You want to be one of those guys that got a half a pint in his pocket every time you see somebody. What's up, man? Hey, everything good, or you want to be the guy with the bag on it, with a joint every time you see somebody. It's all right, that's cool, but not until you get 18. Once you get 18, hey, look, you out the house. I'm not concerned so much about your welfare. I still care about you, But at this point, you're an adult, and my whole desire is to raise you to be on your own, to get yourself together, so you can say, you know what, hey, Papa Suede, your rules was a little tough, man. I really don't want to, you know what I'm saying? Well, I don't really want to abide by your rules. You don't necessarily have to say that, but, you know, it's like, you know, I don't like the rules. They're a little strict, or they bias. I don't like them. You know, I'm getting my money together. I got a job, and I'm moving out. Hey, more power to you, because that's what my rules are. My rules are to inconvenience you. I'm going to tell you that now. My rules are to inconvenience you. My rules are not to let you get comfortable, so you can move out and have your own. So I could come over to your house, and you could say, hey, Papa Suede, man, hey, we don't do that over here. Oh, you don't? Yeah. Oh, you know, Papa Suede, we about to blaze, man. We got a 30-pack of beer. We got 3/5. At that point, I have a choice to say, okay, either I'm going to join in the festivities, or I'm going to leave and say, you know what, all right, well, you know, not this time. You know, I love you. You know what I'm saying? You my child. I catch you on the next one. That's what it's about. So you have to make sure that your children understand that, man. So many times I see children arguing with the parents in the house. I can't stand this house and these rules. Good. That should be the motivation for you to go to school every day, understand the material, get good grades, go all the way, graduate, get a job. if the only thing you live for as a child, because you hate the parents' rules and how they what the food tastes like, whatever. Look, stop arguing with your parents. Just stop. You know what I'm saying? All the children out here, you know, teenagers especially, you know, even the young kids, look, stop arguing with your parents. Stop trying to run away. What you running away for? Now you running away, you don't know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? You running away because what? You running away because you don't like the rules in the house. You running away because you don't like the way your dad talked to you, your mama talked to you, the way you're getting disciplined. Okay, well, first of all, stop screwing up. All right? And if you got a problem, you know, just with understanding or something, or, you know, hey, just be real. Like, look, I'm having issues. I need your help, parents. I need help. You know what I'm saying? Don't always you want to yell at it. Well, I ain't doing nothing, Mom. I don't have to do. Dad, you suck. For what? What you going through all that? Guess what? The rules are still gonna be the same. And you run away, and you go over to your auntie house who don't care about what's going on, and you sitting there with her smoking Newports talking about your parents. Yeah, her daddy. And she say, yeah, my brother really ain't nothing. You know, he always. And you sitting there, and guess what she gonna do? After about the third day, because she not used to being at her house, she going to call your parent and be like, hey, look, you know he over here, right? I just want you to know he over here. So, at the end of the day, look, you need to try to just tell them, hey, look, you don't like these rules, go to school. Get yourself together. You get yourself together, you move out at 18, and boom, you live how you want to live. You know what I'm saying? What makes, I don't understand how the children come into the game thinking that, well, I can argue about the rules and everything in the house like it's going to change. It's not a democracy. No. The house is a dictatorship. I am the dictator. You know what I'm saying? The father's the dictator. The mother's the dictator. Whoever raising the child, this is a dictatorship. Meaning I have absolute rule. There is no negotiations. Well, I don't like the fact that you talk to. Well, stop doing what you're doing. What makes you think that you can continue to do what you want to do as a child and say what you want to say, and there are no repercussions? That's not how that works. That's not how the world works. Because when you get outside and live on your own, you're going to feel that. So you either going to do two things. You either going to understand that once you run away at 16 years old. Where you going at 16? You want to run away at 17. What you running away for? You know what I'm saying? Where you going? So you at 16, let's say you a 16-year-old girl, you running away, going to live with some guy. Okay, he's what, 25 years old? Really? Really? And then you see, because you see it all the time, you hear about it. Now he's abusing her. Now you got yourself in a screwed up situation. So you left a good home and everything, but you didn't want to listen. You didn't want to follow the rules. You felt like you were just so independent. Now you put yourself in a really, really bad situation. For what? Go back home. If you are out here and you ran away for whatever reason, go back home. Get yourself together. And when you leave this time, you don't have to run away. You can walk away. You maybe even walk away with the living room furniture. Mom, Dad, can I have this living room furniture? Mom, can I have the sofa? Can I have the refrigerator? You might walk out with a refrigerator, a stove, some end tables, a lamp, a rug, your bedroom set. I mean, think about it. I mean, because but we do have to address that situation as parents. We do need to make sure that the only thing that I say is that we make sure the lines of communication are open, which means you as a parent have to listen to your child. And when I say listen, I don't mean that you change the rules for them, but what that means is that you understand what their needs are. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times it aren't complaints of children. Don't have real complaints to me. They do have concerns and needs. So they may need you to be at a sports function a little more often. They may need an additional hug, or they may need something beyond what you're giving them. You may be missing out on something, but by no means am I saying change any type of rules, right? So I don't like this rule. Okay, so that means that you don't understand the rules. So let me help you to understand why these guidelines are in place. So these guidelines are in place to protect you at this point of your life, to protect you from this. Well, I can't never go anywhere, blah, blah, blah. I want to go hang out with my friends. Okay, so what you need to do as a parent, you don't need to argue with the child. This is my rules. They already know that, because that's what the thing is. I can't go here. So that's telling you that, hey, they already know what the rules are. So their need, at that point, that means the child doesn't understand the rules. And nobody say agree. But you need to understand why these rules are in place to protect you. Now, if that's the case and they can always want to do that, so that means that you have to prepare them for when they walk outside the door. And that's the goal. So once you understand it, you say, okay, well, my child's always, well, I want to go hang with Susie. I want to go hang with Joey. I want to go hang. Okay, so who are Susie and Joey? Are Susie and Joey drinking? Are they smoking? Why is it a need for you to hang with them so much? And then that's when you can start to understand your child more. So the goal for 2022, right? The Suede Covenant has put it for the parents, is to understand the arguments that your child has, right? Understand what their needs are, why they're angry or upset. What is the need for privacy? Oh, Mom, the guy says, oh, Mom, I want to keep my door closed all the time, You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, okay, what is your need for privacy? You may be at that stage where, he might be, experimenting, with his body, learning his body. Hey, well, then that means that comes for a conversation. That means, hey, look, hey, that don't mean you get in here and explore your body every time you get a chance to. That's not what that means, okay? There's a way to explore your body and respect this house at the same time, So, hey, lock doors. That's another one. What are you talking about locking your doors, your private space? What do you mean? You get private space when you accomplish this high school diploma and decide to go for a degree or go for skilled trade and get yourself together and you move out. That's your private space. You don't get private space in this house. Ain't no private space. What are you talking about? No, ain't no private space. No locked doors. You better not lock the door. What are you locking the door for? Young lady, why are you locking the door? You know what I'm saying? Why is the door locked? Who are you on the phone with? See, because now I may be a little biased, but if a young man locks the door consistently, the first thing I would say is that he's exploring his body. A young lady locks the door consistently, I'm not going to think the first thing she explores her body. First thing I'm going to think is that it's some young man in her ear and they talking all on the phone and he's like, hey, look here, baby, I like you. You was looking good today with that purple scrunchie in your hair. With the milk, and you was drinking that milk, and you dribbled a little bit on your lips. I was like, ooh wee, baby. And that's what I'm be thinking the conversation is she gonna be like, you so crazy. You like chocolate chip cookies too? He gonna say, yeah, I do like chocolate chip cookies. But that's what in my mind, that's what I'm thinking. Like, okay, this is that conversation. So, no, I'm not about to let you get a whole hour, 2-3 hours of this conversation in there. You all comfortable. And then she over here like, well, my mom and my daddy don't love me. They don't do this and they don't do that. So, and he over there like, yeah, you know what? They don't love you, but I do. You always could come to me, baby. And then now you got a whole situation on your hand. And it's even with the young fellas, too. Because the young fellas get with the young lady on the phone and they talk. They tell each other their problems, just like we do. You know what I'm saying? They watch our interactions and they say, oh, okay, well, my friend or my husband is who, you know what I'm saying, I'm telling my information to. That's what they're watching, or my wife, whatever the situation is. And then they say, okay, well, this is how you communicate. So they get close to somebody and they say, okay, well, you know what? This is the person I'm going to vent to. And depending on who that other person is on the other line, on the other side of the cell phone, on the other side of that chat, or the other side of those DMs, you know what I'm saying? How they deal with that. So they could actually have a friend and they're like, yeah, okay, well, maybe your parents still love you. Or it could be the other way around. But you don't know that. So you have to be aware of that. That's why there's no locked doors. No locked doors. I walk in your room whenever I want to. Right? You know what I'm saying? I mean, the only door that can possibly get locked, but that's limited loctation on that, though. You know what I'm saying? It's limited loctation on that bathroom door. So none of the kids' rooms should ever have locks on them. None of them. No locks put nowhere. If a child comes to your house and decides to put a lock on it, take the lock off, give them the lock back. Or you give them the money back and say, sorry, sir, under the stipulations and the regulations of this house, there are no locks to be put on any child's door. You are 17, 18 years old. You are 20 years old. No, you can not have a lock on the door. Because if you need a lock on your door, then that means it's time for you to move out into your own home, and that way you can lock all of your doors. You can put as many locks on the doors as you would like to, but not here under my roof. No locked doors. Parents, you need to really think about that. You really need to throw that around in your head. You really need to consider that. You know what I'm saying? I know some of the parents, I know friends of mine, they've taken the doorknobs off the doors. Some of them got to the point where they took the doors off the hinges, so the bedroom didn't have a locked door. It didn't have a door on it to lock. And I commend those parents. You know what I'm saying? That's the way it's supposed to be. Look, you are the child. I'm training you, teaching you, and raising you to be independent, not to not need me, or not to not love me, but to be independent on your own. If you don't like a rule in the house, then that means, okay, you're working to leave and live on your own. This is simple as that. Like I said, there's no arguments. I'm not arguing. First of all, I'm not arguing with you. I don't care how old you are. I'm not arguing with you at your age. You're 17, 18, 20. Look, this is the rules. If you don't like the rules, get yourself together. You got ample time. I'm not rushing you. See, and that's the thing. You know what I'm saying? You got to understand. You got to have the children understand. I'm not rushing you to leave. Okay? But I am telling you, you got to follow the rules here. If you don't follow the rules, then there's consequences to be paid. So this is the consequences. If you don't like that, then get yourself together and become independent, live on your own, so we as parents can come over to your house and eat your food And then at that point, we could decide, my daughter, my son doesn't have food, or, needs to go to the wash. You know what? Let's go to the laundromat, wash your clothes. Hey, I brought some food over, stack the refrigerator. So that's a different thing for us. It's a choice. So now we can choose to come over your house and fill up your refrigerator if we want to. But you just coming over my house and eating up all my food? Nah, man. Hey. You can, oh man, let me tell you something. Parents, this is also a good one too. Your child living at home with you goes out and buys a motorcycle and don't have a car, right? That's a problem. You know what I'm saying? You need to get a car so you can get back and forth to work. That's essential transportation. A motorcycle is a toy. That's me. Now, you can say, Suede, that's not how it is. But Suede gonna put it out there like that. Look, a motorcycle, if you living in my home and you just saved up your money and went and bought a motorcycle, that means you are ready to move out of the house. That is an expenditure. Because if you have a motorcycle, why? You say that's an expenditure or a toy? Because you cannot drive it year-round in Michigan. Now, maybe some other state, but not in Michigan because there's snow. So this is not a practical vehicle for you to move around in. So the minute you decide you come to my house, Dad, I got a motorcycle. When you moving out? When you moving out? When you need a U-Haul, I will get the U-Haul. You're not about to, you coming in my house with a $3,000 gaming system and you've graduated from high school? No. When you moving out? When you're moving out, because you will not be yelling at the basement to me, oh, Dad, I'm trying to play the game, you're making a lot of noise. Oh, that is not going to happen. That is not, see, you're going to be mad at me, because the first time you feel like you want to yell upstairs and tell me that I'm making too much noise in my house, and I'm paying bills for it, nah, that ain't going to work. I will cut the Wi-Fi off. And if you try to come and get the Wi-Fi cut on because you happen to be at home while I'm not at home, I will cut the wires. You will not disrespect the house. But you will get yourself together and you move out. Now, I'll help you. Now, I have no problem helping you move out. But just understand, all these, you can't walk in the crib with a $5,000 outfit on. Gucci jacket, you got on some $1,000 shoes, and your pants cost $1,000, and nah, man, you $6,000 worth of clothes. Nah, I'm looking at that's an apartment. That's your rent. That's your down payment. That's a couple of months of rent. That's your security deposit. Yeah, you do that with that money. Go out and get your own house. No, you cannot because we not. Look, kids, parents. Look, I'm reaching out to you. Telling you, even though it's a different day and age, some rules still apply, regardless of what you say. So look, I mean, they might not like Suede after this one. You know what I'm saying? We don't like Suede, and DJ not the DJ, and Mr. No Cap not here to defend themselves. So it's all Suede's opinion today. So if they. Hey, look, if they're not doing it, man, no, it's not, no. Every day you tell them, hey, you know what, you don't like these rules. Hey, then go to school, get your education. I support that 100%. Get your education, graduate, and you can move out. You can get the tattoos you want. You can get the extra piercings you want. They say, why, Suede? Because to me, tattoos are a distraction. How are they a distraction, he says? Because people are like, oh, man, let me see your tattoo. And you be like, I got 5 tattoos, don't you, baby? And he said, oh, yeah, he got 5 tattoos. Let me see your tattoos. And the girl, oh, and definitely no belly button tattoos for the ladies at 15, 16. Oh, no. No belly button. I mean, no stomach tattoos. I mean, if you do allow it, hey, be conscious of what's going on. Think about it. If a young lady gets a tattoo on her belly button, that's too close to the start. That's the jump off point. So now you've given them access to the jump off point. So that's a conversation about, oh, your belly button. You can go up or down. Either way you can go from the belly button. It's the center of the spine. It's the jump off point. So no, you don't. Then you want the guy, because then the girl like, oh, I got to. Oh, then he's like, oh, I heard you had a tattoo over your belly button. Oh yeah, I do. You want to see it? Boom, there you go. There you go right there. Or the ladies want to get it up here, and the fellas too. I mean the chest, arm. You know what I'm saying? If you want to get it on the arm, but still, I say. Suede Covington says no tattoos till 18. They graduate from high school. No extra earrings. No, yeah, man. It's see, but the thing about it is, yes, I'm saying no until you're 18. So understand this. I'm not saying, because some people that get at 18, you still should have at 18, if that's what you want to do. Go ahead and do it. You know what I'm saying? Soon as you know what I'm saying, they left. They was like, you know what I'm saying? They went and got out 2 years. 18, they couldn't wait till they turned 18. They turned 18 and got bam. First thing they did, they graduated. And the next day, the boys went out and said, bam. They went and got two earrings in both ears. I was like, hey, that's what it is. That's what you wanted to do. You waited that long to do it. Go ahead and do it. We got tattoos. Oh man, those tattoos are nice. It wasn't no, you know what I'm saying? And that's what we got to remember as parents. If that's what the rule is, and that's what you dictate, and that's what you say, then follow through with it. Because I follow through with it 100%. I say nothing until 18. When they hit, I say 18, you got to graduate. 18, graduate. So once they graduated, boom, that's it. No tattoos, no earrings, no piercings, and all of that. That was over with. You want to do it, you go ahead and do it. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you start going crazy, I might be like, oh, wait. Oh, that's a lot of tattoos. But other than, no, don't do it anymore. No, that ain't what it is about. So, look, you know what I'm saying? Hey, I had fun talking to y'all today. It was real good. You know what I'm saying? Hey, we got to do this again next Wednesday like we always do. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate you stopping by. That's 100% love. Hey, remember to continue to spread the word. The Suede Covington Show needs to be worldwide. Will be worldwide with your help. You know what I'm saying? Copy and share it. Copy and share it on your page, on your Facebook. Copy and share it on your Instagram, your Snapchat, your TikTok. Hey, let the world know about the Suede Covington Show. You know what I'm saying? I love you. And, hey, it's a beautiful Wednesday. A lovely Wednesday. There's a little bit of rain, but it's always still a good day above ground to be able to talk to you guys. Hey, I love you guys. I can't wait till next week. So next week, I'll see you again, and we'll have another ball of fun with your man, Suede Covington, on the Suede Covington Show. The best thing on the planet, baby. And you can hashtag that. You know what I'm saying? All day. So,
DJ.
I'll holla at you. It's been real.
Thanks for watching the Suede Covington Show on WJZZ Boom TV, the coolest station in the world. Brought to you by Big Sneed Entertainment in association with DJ Holding Heavy, Rough Friends, Stripping Glory, and Flat Rate Travel. Join us next week at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on WJZZ Boom TV, on YouTube, Facebook, Periscope, and Twitch.
Best thing on the planet, baby.